Okay then, right? Are you able to hear me, right?
Yes.
I think, yeah, okay, fine then. Right, yesterday we have seen data types, right? Primitive data types, right? 8 types of primitive data types are there, right? Then, what are the default values, right? What are the default values of the primitive data types? Right, how to see the default values? If you want to see the default values, right, if you want to see the default values, just let me create a quick one more class. We can copy paste. Right, default values. Right, if I want to see the default values, we will learn. I will tell you these things later. Just to see the default values, I am initializing as a. These are all instance variables. Right, we will learn later what is instance variable, these things, just to see what is the default values for the primitive data types. Right, okay, fine. Now, right, how to access, right, I want to print in the main method, I have to create the object for it. We will learn detail what is, those are all just to see data types, default values of it, just I am printing. Okay, let me print all the integer, byte, short, int, float, double, right. Oh, just right. I did not assign any values. Just I have empty, right? Empty variables. That's it. I did not assign. Right. If you don't assign anything, what it will do? JVM will assign some default values. Right. For integer, right? It will always have a, for integer types. It will be a 0. If you don't assign anything for integer values, it will be a 0. Right. For float and double, 0.0. Default value is 0.0. For character, if you see character is empty, default value is empty. Right. Default value, right. We can either null or empty. We can say either null or empty. Default value for the character. For the boolean, it will be a false. If you don't assign anything for the boolean, right? For boolean, it will be a false. Right. For integer, it is a default value is 0. For float and double, 0.0. Right. For character, right? We can null. We can say it as actually it is a null. Right. And then boolean, it is a false. Right. These are
Sir,
the default values.
sir, I have small doubt.
Mhm.
Sir, if we know the default values, first we create the object of the default value. Then we know the what is default value of that particular data type.
Right, right. You can also directly, right. You can also directly print. Sometimes, right, it will not print the default values. If we
Hmm.
create the object, it will perfectly print what is the default value. Without
Okay.
object also, right, you can keep these things, right. We have to change some changes. Local, there is a concepts are there, right.
Hmm.
You don't know all the concepts. Local variables must be initialized. Lot of things will be there. If we create instance variables, it will be easy for us to see what are the default values.
Okay. Thank you.
Right? Just keep this
Okay.
just in mind. That's it. We will learn all these things later going forward.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, good. Fine then. All right. And now we have completed our right primitive data types. We will go with the non-primitive data types. In non-primitive data types, we will see mainly arrays and string. Arrays and string. We will start with the array. We will start with the array. What is an array? Right. So far we have right primitive data types. We can store only single values. Right. Primitive data types will allow to store only single value. Right. That means integer means I can store only 10, 20, 30. That's it. I cannot store multiple values. I want to store 10, 20, 30. All three values I want to store. It will not allow. Right. If I want to store group of values, right, group of values into a single variable. I want to store multiple values, group or multiple values into a single value, single variable of same data type, Then we will go for a arrays. Right. Suppose I want to store 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right. I want to store as a group of values of same data type. Right. Then we will go for a arrays. Right. Then arrays are in fixed size. That means suppose initially I have created a array size as a 5. Right. I cannot dynamically change it. While executing the program, it cannot change. Whatever initially I have declared size of the array, that is fixed. Right. That is fixed. Right. How to declare? Right. How to declare a right array? How to declare an array? Suppose I want to store right numbers. Right, we can create array for all 8 types of data types. Whatever so far we have learned, byte, short, int, long, float, double, right, boolean, char. We can create array for any type of data type. Right, we will create integer. Suppose. Right, we can. This is just declaration. We will call it as this int. Suppose some variable name. Here, anything. We can give array name. Suppose name. Right, ages. Right, this is the array name, that is a variable, and then we have to give the syntax square bracket, right, open square bracket, close square bracket. We have to give that. This is called a declaration of the array. Then if you want to initialize array, right, either we can declare in two ways. We can give starting square brackets or ending square brackets. Starting or ending, both are fine. Right, both are fine. Then initialize array. Right, initialize array. Right, how to initialize just a declaration part. This is just a declaration. We have to initialize it at something. Suppose above we have declared. Now we can initialize it equal to new array of right new integer. What type of integer type? Then we have to give the square brackets again. Then we have to give the size. How many elements I want to store? You want to store 10 elements or 5 elements or 100 elements, right? That is initialize. Either we can do both in same line, right? Declare and initialize based on our requirement, right? We will do. If I want to both in declare and initialize in same line, I can equal to new int of right. I can do like this. Right, fine. These are the different ways we can declare and initialize the array. Right. Now, what will happen, right, internally, suppose, right, if we create internally, it will create in the memory, right, like array concept, it will store, right, like this, suppose. It will start indexes, it will have a index, right, it will have a index. Array will have an index, it will start from the 0, right, 1, right, 2, right, 3. Right. Similarly, we have an apartment. If you want to identify any person, right, we will have a flat numbers. Similarly, here also, if you want to identify, right, some elements, it will have a index concept, right? We can have a index concept. Suppose if you, right, if I can store, I have created integer of 10 elements. 10 means 0 to 9. It will start index from 0. We have to remember this. It will start index from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right, up to 9. Right, up to until 9. That means 10 elements. Right, this is 10 elements because it is starting from 0. So it has a 10 elements. Right, then we can store whichever element, but default values initially it will have default values. Default values of integer what? 0. So in all positions it will be a 0 initially. Right, suppose if I want to store Right, some data into the array. How to store it? Suppose what is the variable name? Ages. I have given ages. Right. I want to store in the 0 position. A of 0 equal to some 10. Then what will happen? It will replace the default value with 10. Right. Suppose if I want to store ages of 3. Right. Index 3, I want to store some. Right. In index 3, I want to store as a 40. Then it will replace default value with 40. Right. It will print the 40. Right. We can assign values in the array by using the index array. Right. We will see examples so that you will get more idea. Okay. New class. Yeah, array. Okay, I will create the main method. Right, always we have to create the main method to execute any program. Right, inside main program, we have to declare a. Right, suppose integer array. Integer square brackets. Right, integer square bracket and then array name. That is variable. Right, like a variable equal to new int of size. Right, here we will have a sometimes a syntax. They will ask syntax of it. Right. What is the syntax of it? Right. Data type. That we have to give the data type and then array name and then new data type size of it. Inside a square bracket, we have to give the size of it. Right. Now, if I want to store some element, right? If I want to assign some values, how to give? It will start from 0. Right. 0 of in the 0 position, I am giving 10. Suppose if you want to give right second position, right 20. Now similarly, if I want to print it, right, I want to print the value in there, right, I want to print the value of the system.out.println error of 0. Okay, what it will print? We have assigned 10, so it will print the 10. If we run the program, 10. Suppose if I print 1, array of 1, right, right, I did not we did not assign any value in the position 1. Right, in the position 1 we did not assign any value, so what will happen? It will, right, it will always assign a 0. Right, if we don't assign anything, what is the default value? 0. If we assign value, it will override the default value. Right, how to assign a value? We have to variable name square brackets, we have to provide the index. Right, this is retrieve. How to retrieve? Variable name square brackets, we have to provide the index. Right, then there are few more things. Just suppose print the length. Right, print the length. Right, what is the length of it? I have given 5. Now what it will print? It will print the length as a 5. Length as a 5. Suppose I want to get the last element. Right, last index value. I want to get the last index value. Okay. How to get it? System.out.println arr square brackets. Then we can use the length method. Right, length. Right, length method. Now what will happen? Right, now what will happen? What is the last value? We did not assign any value, so it will be 0. Right, here we will get some. Right, we are expecting to print 0, but what happened? Array index out of bounds exception. Right, because what is array.length will print 5, but the index will assign 0 to 4 only. Right, if you are creating array with 5, Index will start from 0, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Until 4 only we will have data. Right, size will be, length will be 5 only. But index will not have 5. Index, last index means we have to always minus 1. We have to give always minus 1. Then only it will print the last one. What is the last one? We did not assign anything. Default value is 0. Right. Right. These are the single dimensional array. So for whatever we have seen, this is a single dimensional array. We can also create a multi-dimensional array. Right, we can also create multi-dimensional. That means 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional. We can create, but 2-dimensional is fine. Up to 2-dimensional is fine. Right, single and 2-dimensional. This is a single dimensional array. Right, suppose if you want to create a 2-dimensional array. Right, let me create quickly. A 2-dimensional array. Right, how we have created same way we have to create the 2-dimensional array. Suppose I want to create a 2-dimensional means how it will be, looks like. Suppose 2 by 2 matrix. Right, I want to create a matrix. Right, 2 by 2 matrix. Right, 2 by 2 matrix. It will be like a, right, a single row, single dimension means it will be a single row. Right, here 2-dimensional means 2 rows. Right, but it will have a 1 row or 2 rows, that is depends on the size. Multi-dimensional means here we can have a rows and columns. Rows and columns. It is a 2 by 2 matrix. Right, it is a 2 by 2. We can have 1 by 2, right, 2 by 1, right, any size. 2 means first rows, 2 rows, 2 columns. Right, 2 rows, 2 columns. We can have 1 row, 2 columns. Right, 1 by 2. 1 row, 2 columns. Or we can have 2 rows, single column. Right, 2 rows, single column also. Right, we can have a 2 rows, single column. Right, based on the our requirement we can create. We will go with the 2 by 2. Right, indexes how it will be. First it will start from 0. Always it will start from the 0. Right, always index will, in Java always index will be start from 0. Right, 0 row, 0th row, 0th column. 0 row, 0 column. Right, 0, 0th row, first column. Then next row, second row means 1. First row, first column. First column means 0. Then first row, second column, 1, 1, 1. Right, it will go like this, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, right, based on our size. Right, if I want, by default it will have a zeros. Right, if it is a integer means, integer a 2-dimensional array means, it will have always 0. Right, if we want to assign, we can override this value, default value. Right, we'll see that. Right, 2-dimensional array. Right, we'll go with the 2 by 2. Right, 2 rows, 2 columns. Right, then assign a value. How to assign? First row, first column. I want to assign first row. I want to assign value to the first row, first column. How we will assign? 0, 0. Right, first row, first column means 0, 0. Right, first row, first column. Suppose if I want to assign first row, second column, 0, 1. Right, 0, 1. If you want to assign second row means it will start, the second row means 1, column means 0. Alright, if you want to print similarly, right, if you want to print the, right, 0, 0, right, system.out.println, whatever we have assigned, it will print it. Right, if we don't have, it will by default, it will print the default value. Now we will print 1, 1 also. Okay, we'll see. Right, we did not assign 1, 1. Default is 0. but 0 0 we have assigned 1, but 1 1 we did not assign, so it is 0. Suppose by mistake, right, if you try to print, right, last row, last column, you want to print the last row, last column, 2 by 2, by mistake, if you keep it like this, 2 by 2, what will get? Immediately, it will say throw exception, array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception. Right here, array dot length -1. That if you want to print the last row, last column, it will be 0. Right, we can print last row, last column. Right, two-dimensional arrays. Right, sometimes what will happen, suppose if we take a single row array, sometimes, right, requirement, I know the values, what I want to store. I know some values. Suppose in interview, right, they will ask, take the 10 numbers, store in array and sort it. Simply they will say sort it. Right. Then how to do? So far we know this one only. Right. What we will do? We will create a size of 10. Right. Then we will assign 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. Right. There is a one more way. There is a one more way. Right. We can declare, right, values. Right. We can declare, right, like this. We can assign all the values. Right. I know the values. I know values what I want to store. Right. Then we will go for syntax like this. Right. Square curly brackets inside. Then we can give whatever numbers we want. Suppose I want to store 11, right, 22, 13, right, some values. We can store like this. If we know the values, we will go with this syntax. If we don't know, then, right, sometimes we want to dynamically get it and store it. Then we will go for this syntax. Right, if you know already values, then we will go for this syntax. Right, same thing here, retrieving, right, retrieving will be same only. Variable name, square brackets, index. Right, in the two dimension also, we'll have a same thing. The two dimensional also, we will have a, right, same thing. If you want to, right, declare and initialize, but here, right, it will have a like this. Right, here rows and columns, right? Here it will follow rows and columns, square curly brackets, and then again first row and second row. Right, here two columns. First row has a two columns, second row has a two columns. Right, printing is same thing. Right, how to print it? Printing is same thing only. There is no difference in it. Right, only declaration part. If you know already values, then we will go for directly this syntax we can assign. Right, this is about the arrays. Right, arrays are used to store the, right, group of values of same type. It's a fixed size, but it is also a fixed size. Right, once we declare the size, we cannot change it. Right, while running the program, I cannot change it once we declare it. Right, what is the here drawbacks are there. Here drawbacks and advantages of also there. Right, if you take, right, it is a fixed size. Suppose if we create a 100, size of 100, but you are using only 2. Right, what will happen internally? It will create 100, right, size memory integer. Right, how much memory it will take integer? Right, right, how much it will take integer? Integer will take 4 bytes. Right, here how much we have created? 100 into 4. Right, that much memory of is created. But if we are using only two locations, remaining all are unnecessarily we are creating waste of memory. it will occupy a lot of memory. So whatever requirement is there, we have to use, right, that much memory only. Right, and also if you are using only byte data, right, I already told you, if you are using only byte data between the range of byte, then it is always advised to go for byte. Right, don't use the integer. We don't require you want to store between 127 to 1 minus 128 to plus 127, then we will go for byte only, so that we can reduce the memory of allocating. Right, we can, right, these are all the best practices when you are writing the code. Right, these are the practices we have to do. Right, everyone will create int by default they will get integer only, but we don't require integer. If we do, right, whatever size we require, that was right, that data type we can use either byte, short, int. We can create array for all the data types. We can create array for all the data types. Right, this is about the arrays. Right, and this is about the arrays. Right, anyone has any questions on it? Right, if not, we'll continue with the one more non-primitive data type as a string. Right, a string. Right, if I want to store, so far we know only character. If we want to store single character, we know single quotes, we have to give the either single character only. But if you want to store multiple characters, right, I want to store multiple characters, right, or multiple words, right, multiple characters or multiple words. Right, if I want to store a multiple characters or multiple words, then we will go for a string. Right, if we want to store the multiple characters, then we will go for a string. Right, how to create a string? Right, string is a class. Right, it is a class. Right, so far we have learned only primitive data types, but here it is a string is a class. We can create a string object in two ways. One is the literal way, one is the object way. Right, one is the literal way, one is the object way, that we will see. Right, string something name. Right, string name. Right, something repressor. Right, I can store multiple characters or multiple words, right, in a string variable. Right, this is a variable. String variable, I can store multiple characters. Right, space we can store or special characters, special symbols, numbers, right, anything. Right, anything we can store it in a string. Right, fine. Then this is the literal way of, this is the, there are two ways to create a string. Right, this is the literal way of creation. One more is the object way. Right, objects we will learn later, but just to show you, right, how to create object. Right, class variable name equal to new class name. This is the syntax of the object creation. We'll see that in the objects concept. Right, here just in the constructor we have to give the like this. Right, we will focus only on literal way of creation. Right, object way of creation we'll see later. Right, we'll focus on only literal way. Right, if you want to store a group of characters or group of words, then we will go for a string. It is a class. Class means it will have a lot of methods. Class will have a methods. Right, there are predefined methods. String has provided some methods to manipulate the string. Right, to manipulate the string. Right, don't use the predefined class names. Suppose string is a predefined class name, Java provided class name. Don't use same name as for your class. Right, just change it to something else. Right, string example. If we create, right, it will confuse which string it has to take. Right, so don't create with predefined names. Right, just Okay, fine. Write a string, then create the something string name equal to okay something John. Right, there are okay lot of things are there, but what are the important things we will learn about the string. Right, see, if you want to append, right, I want to append something hello to the existing name. Right, then what we can do? Right, inside a double quotes, string always will be in a inside double quotes. Right, double quotes, you can give, right, hello, right, then close the double quotes. Close the double quotes plus we have to give this name. Right. We have stored John in the name. Right. Just give that name. Then it will become hello John. Right. By using plus, right, we can suppose if we print it. Right. How it will print? See hello John. If you want to give the space, if you want to provide the space after hello, just give the space. Right. You can give here space. Right now it will come as a right, it will print as a space here. Right, by using plus we can append or right we have a concat method. We have a concat. Alternatively, we can also use there is a method called concat. Right, I want to this is the string. Right, if you give this is the string. Inside double quotes, whatever we will give, this is a string. Consider as a string. Dot right, string has a lot of methods. Right, here one of the method is concat name. Either we can use the plus or concat, then give the name. It is a method, so it will have open and close brackets. Method will always have a close and open and close brackets. Inside it, just pass the argument as a name. Right, it will print a greeting one also, same thing, hello Joe. Right, it will print both the same. Right, we will see one by one method. Right, what are the right basic things? Name dot caret, caret of 0. Here also we have to remember, right, in string also, right, whenever you creating Hari Prasad, what it will do internally, it will create a index. String also will start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. Right, it will also store these one by one character by using index positions. Right, first index will store in the 0th index, right, 0th index, then 1, 2, 3, like this it will go. If you want to get the first character, J, right, caret of method caret of index, you have to provide 0. Right, what is the return type? It will return char, primitive data type char. Right, we have to, if you want to store it, you can store it, char. Variable name, right, we can give any name. Variable name is we can some meaningful name. Right, char ch equal to name dot character. Right, that then it will print right first character as the j. Right, like this. Right, by using the character method, we can get the by we have to pass the index which character you want. If you pass the index, you will get the character. It will return the character. Right. Similarly, name dot. Right. We will see only mostly used ones. There are a lot of things. Okay. If we want to see starts with what it will do starts with suppose there is a okay string some message. Okay. Right. Welcome to Java programming. Now I want to verify whether this string is starts with welcome. This string is starts with welcome. Right, starts with welcome. Right, starts with welcome. We have to give the message, right? Sometimes we'll confuse. We will give these things, right? Variable name what? Message. Message dot starts with. Right. If it is true, if it is starts with welcome, it will return true. Right. What is the return type of it? Boolean. Right. It will return Boolean. Right. Something I will give B. Right. It will return the Boolean. So, right. We can print it simply. If it is starts with welcome, it will return okay, true. Otherwise, false. Similarly, if you want to ends with, right? See, if you want to starts with the message dot ends with, I want to see this string is ends with particular word or not. Right? If you remove this exclamation mark also, it will fail. Right? If I execute now, let's see it become false. Right? We have to give say, entire ends with. Right? Ends with. You can give only ing also. That's fine. Ends with ing. Right, ends with in. Like this also we can give. It is ends with ing colon. Right, it is true only. Right, but it should match ends with. Either single character you can give or multiple characters. Right, single character or multiple characters we can give. Starts with, ends with. Yeah. Similarly, right, what else we have? All right, index of. Index of. If I want to get the index of where it is starting, where it is. Suppose in the welcome to Java programming, I want to verify from where Java is starting, right? Which index Java is starting. Either you can give only J, right? Only J or Java. That is fine. If you want to verify entire word from where it is starting, it will give the starting index of the J. If you give only J, if it is multiple places, it will give the first index. First index, right? Just will give the Java. Right, index of Java. Okay, it is started at the 11th. Right, 11th index. You can also calculate my 0. You can start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, like this. It is starting Java from 11th position. Index is 11. By using the index of method, we can get the either we can pass single character or multiple characters or multiple words. You can pass, it will return the starting character index. Starting character index of it. Right, we can also use one more is replace. Right, replace. Right, by using replace method, what we can replace, suppose welcome to Java programming. I want to replace Java with the Python. Right, what you want to replace? Here it will take two arguments. Replace will take two arguments. First argument is right, we have to give existing one. I want to replace Java with Python. Java with Python. Alright, suppose if we print it, original thing it will not change. Original message will not change. Right, that we will see. That concept later we will see. Right, that concept we will see later. Right, here original things still same only, but only it will update right message. Right, welcome to Python. It will replace Java with Python. Okay, we are changing original one only, right? Actually, we are changing original one. We have to point. We have to point to another one. Then it will update only. If you reassign to original one, it will replace it. Right? If you reassign, it will change the original value. But if you assign to another one, it will not change, right? If we are doing just this piece of code, it will not change anything. If we reassign to original one, it will change the original string. Otherwise, it will not change. Right, what else we have? We have, right, one more important. These are all regular, right? When you are doing a programming, these are all the common things, right? Whatever we are common thing, there are a lot of things will be there. We are seeing only major things which we are used regularly. Right, split method. Right, split. Right, split method, what it will do? Suppose, right, I have a string, like I will create one more string. Okay, message, right, something. I will create a message, I think already, right? In the same method, I cannot create two variables with the same name. It will say duplicate if we create a same name. So I have to modify something else. Okay, message one, I think already have message two, maybe. Okay. Then I want to see how many words are there. I want to see how many words are there in the string. Right. This is one word, E is one word, A is one word, sample is one word. These are all right. I want to calculate. What is the separator here? Space. What is the separator between the two words? Here is a space. That's why we are giving space. If separator is comma, right, like this, then we can give separator as a comma. Currently here separator is space. Just give the space of it. Right. If you want to see the number of words, okay, just I will print the, it is an array, right? String array. It is a string array. Words dot length. Right, just we can print how many words are there. If it is right not working means it will print only one. If it is successfully splitted, it will show how many words are there. How many are there? 8. 8 words are there. Right, by using the split method, we can split the, right, we can split with, suppose I want to, from here, I want this is one array element. This is one array element. You can also give sample. Right, you can also give, it will not restrict. We can give anything here. How you want to split it? How you want to split it? You can give anything here. Regular expressions we can use, or words, spaces, right? Anything we can give. Based on that, it will split. Right. Next thing is simple. I want to convert entire this string into lowercase. Sometimes, right, we will get this type of requirements also. I want to convert the entire string into lowercase, right? Message, right? Variable dot string dot lowercase, string dot to lowercase, right? You can print it uppercase. Suppose if you want to print with uppercase, right? Similarly, two uppercase, two lowercase, two uppercase. We have to call on the string, right? These methods all are available on the string. Right, two lowercase and uppercase, just if you print it, let's see if it will print in the everything in the lowercase. Here it will print in the uppercase. Right, sometimes these things are also useful. Okay, what else we have? Trim method, one more important, trim method. What is trim method? Suppose I have a string. Okay, I will create str1. Right, like this I have. Okay. Here there are spaces starting and ending. Starting and ending. I want to remove these spaces. Right, then we can go for a trim method, right? Sometimes what will happen, you are getting data from the Excel, you are getting from the database, right? Some other file system, right? What will happen, it will append, sometimes you will get a space, and if you are comparing, right, what will happen, it will fail. So to remove those spaces, starting and ending, that means suffix and prefix, it will not remove between, only suffix and prefix, starting and ending. It will remove the spaces, right? It will print, right? It will remove the starting and ending spaces. And one more important, okay, one more important, will create a string str equal to hello world, str3 equal to, right? I want to compare equality of two strings. I want to compare equality of two string. Right? How to compare str2? Right? We can str2 dot equal, in the method argument pass the str3, another string. I want to compare two strings by using equal method. If we both are equal, it will return true. Otherwise, false. In this case, both are true. Right, both are true, so it will return the true. Suppose I have given capital O. I have given here in the str to capital O. Now what will happen? See, it will become false. That means equal is a case sensitive. That means it will verify either capital or small also. I want to ignore the case. I want to ignore the case. Right, then there is a one more method, equal ignore case. Instead of equal, we can use equal ignore case. In that case, what will happen? It will ignore the case. It will see only character. Either it is O or that's it. Either capital or small, it will ignore. Only it will verify with the same character or not. Right. In this case, see, true. Equal ignore case. Right. And one more important thing, substring. Right. Substring. Substring means what? I want to get some part of the strings from the entire string. I have a lengthy string. I want to get some part of the string. Right. Suppose I want to get from 0, 1 to second position to last position. Second position to last position. Right. Suppose I can give like 2, substring of 2. Right. Substring of 2. It will extract substring from index 2 to end. Right. Suppose if we give starting and end position. Starting and end position. Right. What it will do? It will extract a substring from 0 position to 5 is exclusive. That means 0 to 4. If we give 0 to 5, it will extract characters from 0 index to 5 minus 1, fourth index, up to fourth index only. It will. This is very, very important. Sometimes the interview they will test it. Alright, this is a basic simple question only, but we will confuse about it. 0 to 5 means it will extract characters from 0 to 4. It will extract characters from 0. Right. First thing is some from 2 to end. If you give only starting position, it will from starting to ending. If we give starting and ending position, start position to end position minus 1. Right. End position we will call it as a exclusive. That means 0 to 4. Right. 0 to 4 only we will get it. Right. Okay. These are the some of the methods we have. I think any other. There are a lot of things are there. Right. I am telling only important ones. One more important contains. One more contains. What contains will do sometimes, right? I want to validate, right? I want to validate a given word, given character or given word contains in the Right. Suppose str4. What is str4? Hello world. I want to verify world is contains inside this str4. Either you can give single character or multiple characters. str4 contains world. If it contains world, it will return true. Otherwise, false. Otherwise, false. Otherwise, false. Where is that? Okay, fine. Right, it is contained. World is contained. So it will be written true. Okay. What else, Vishal? Okay, mostly these are the things we will. One more important is there. Right. Okay, is empty, is blank. That is one more important thing. Is empty and is blank. Right. Suppose my string is empty. Empty means simple double quotes. Or simple double quotes are like this. Anything is called empty. I want to verify whether string is empty or not. I want to verify whether the string is empty or not. Right. In this case, what will happen? String dot is empty. In this case, what will happen? It will return true. Suppose I have given space. This is also a empty. Right. That is also a empty. But what will happen? It will return false. It will return false. I want to return as a true. I want to return as a true. In that case, what we will do? We will go with a one more method. That is blank. We will go with the is blank. Is blank will return true. If it is a space also, let's see, it will return true. If it is either empty or space, blank will return. In both the cases, it will return as a empty true. That means empty only. But is empty will only empty only when there is a simple double quotes, right? Or like this, or like this, right? Is empty, is blank, right? These two are also very, very important. Okay, these are the some of the string methods we will generally use, right? Concat method, caret method, and then substring starts with ends with index of replace, split method, to lowercase to uppercase, string. Right, usually in interviews, lot of questions are there in the string. Right, string interview questions, there are endless of questions. They can ask anything. But we must be perfect at the methods. Right, we must be perfect at the methods. We should know, right, how to get the character, how to get the index. Right, right, they will ask, right, how to split it, right? These things are important. We should know what methods we have to use in what situation. Then only you can able to solve the string programs, right? String programs, right? Any questions? Anyone has any questions? Okay. If you do, if you are good